nyumbani. Please, usilete siasa kwa mambo ya majeshi. Hiyo Ruto must go, si kusema ati atolewe ofisi kinyume ya sheria. No, it's a clarion call in preparation for the general.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua criticized the Chief of Defence Forces, General Charles Kahariri, over political remarks as public rallies behind him.
Itupeleke kwa shamba letu haraka iwezekanavyo. Labda kwa mwezi mmoja kutoka sasa tunataka serikali ichukue hiyo jukumu ya kupeleka wenye mashamba kwa mashamba yao.
Mchezo inaendelea. Kuna mchezo inaendelea. Sana sana ni kundili. Watu wa mbele na wale walipewa titles wasiingie.
Mbere elders give government 1 month ultimatum for Moya settlement implementation for 7,200 beneficiaries as mandated by a court order. And 170 suspects arrested in Kwale County linked to the notorious machete-wielding criminal gang known as the Panga Boys, who have been causing fear and havoc among residents in Diani.
Alright, we are live on Facebook and as well as on YouTube, and you can as well send us your feedback through our SMS line, that is 23059. Macharia is my name, and the EBN Weekend Edition starts now. And former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has hit out at Chief of Defence Forces, that is General Charles Kahariri, urging him to steer clear of politics. Gachagua criticized Kahariri's recent remarks on the presidency, stating that the defense forces should remain neutral in political matters. The CDF had earlier defended the deployment of military during last year's Gen Z protest and cautioned those seeking to remove President William Ruto through public chants, asserting that the military would not allow such actions. Speaking in Naivasha, where police attempts to bar him from addressing residents were thwarted by an energized crowd, Gachagua expressed concerns over Kahariri's statements. He emphasized that Kenyan voters had the constitutional right to remove a sitting president and should not be intimidated.
Sisi hatuna shida na mtu yeyote. Na tungetaka kuambia mkuu ya majeshi, General Kahariri, wewe ni mtoto wetu wa nyumbani. Please. The military is a respected organization in this country because it has conducted itself professionally since independence. And it's the only institution that the people of Kenya trust. Please, usilete siasa kwa mambo ya majeshi. Majeshi kazi yao ni kulinda Kenya from external enemies. And that is the work of the military. So wewe usiingizwe kwa mambo ya siasa ya William Ruto. Hata ukijaribu kusaidia William Ruto, pahali mambo yake imefika saa hii general, uweze msaidia. Hao wananchi wamewachana na yeye. Mmewachana na yeye ama bado? There is no way you can help him. So tunauliza general, please let the military remain a professional outfit because it is the only institution that the people of Kenya trust. So don't bring politics into the military. For your information, hiyo Ruto must go, si kusema ati atolewe ofisi kinyume ya sheria. No. Watu is a clarion call in preparation for the general election. Ruto atatolewa kikatiba na uchaguzi wa 2027. In a democratic and constitutional process. So General, I would like to correct you. That call of Ruto must go is just a preparation, ni rehearsal. Watu wanafanya kujikubu. So don't tell us that it's unconstitutional. No. Nobody is saying William Ruto atolewe kwa kiti outside the law. Itafanyika tariki 10 mwezi wa 8 2027 in a democratic and constitutional election. So General, tafadhali enda kwa barracks, linda Kenya. Wacha mambo mingi. Tufanyie wananchi kazi. Na tuache uongo. Kwa sababu ile shida imeharibu hii serikali ya William Ruto ni mambo ya nini? Ni waongo si waongo? Hiyo ndio ukweli na ndio mimi tulishindwa kukaa na yeye. Sababu kila siku ni kudanganya watu na kutenga na kuahidi. Si ndio? Si hata saa hii anajiandaa kutembea huko. Anakuja kusema ukweli ama uongo.
All right, at the same time, a section of politicians from the Democratic Action Party of Kenya, that is the DAPK, has called on the Military and National Intelligence Service, that is the NIS, to refrain from engaging in political matters. Led by DAPK leader Ichung'Wa and Bumula legislator Jack Wamboka, the politicians emphasized that the roles and responsibilities of the military and intelligence agencies are clearly defined in the constitutions, and politics should be left to elected leaders. Omalo pointed out that when the military and intelligence service intervene in political affairs, it creates unnecessary conflict and undermines its primary role of safeguarding the nation's borders. He reiterated that politics is a domain reserved for politicians, and their involvement in such matters should be discouraged.
Kutoka sasa hawataki wanasiasa kuja kuongea siasa kwa madhabahu. Sisi tumeheshimu na tumesalimu hiyo amri. Vile vile tutaka sasa tuseme kama wanasiasa, hatutaki wanajeshi wetu ama askari wa polisi ama wakuu wa polisi NIS, mkuu wa majasusi ama mkuu wa majeshi nao pia waingie kwenye siasa. So that is one thing we want to say here. Just as politicians have accepted and respected the charge that we will not do politics in the pulpit, we will not do politics inside the church. We want our security chiefs to keep politics out of our security organs. The Kenya Defense Forces is the most respected military, not just in Africa, worldwide, because it has always been apolitical and it has remained very, very professional. We wouldn't want the current CDF to do any less or to descend into the arena of politics that would undermine that respect or professionalism of our defense.
Mimi nataka kuambia serikali, peace ni kitu ya maana sana hapa Kenya. Juzi nimeona CDF mkuu wa majeshi akianza kuingilia maneno ya siasa. Wachia siasa sisi bwana. Tunakuheshimu. Jeshi ya Kenya has been very professional for so many years na imeheshimika sana. Wewe ka barracks, bwana CDF, wewe ka barracks. Rafiki yangu Nuruddin Haji, tafadhali nyinyi kaeni kando, sisi tupambane na maneno ya siasa. Wakati tunakubali jeshi ikianza kuingia siasa ya Kenya, hapo ndio tunaharibu mambo yetu ya.
All right, moving on. Katana Primary School in Momoni, Kitui County has suffered significant damage after heavy downpours and strong winds swept away 6 classrooms and offices, leaving the school community in distress. Among the structures destroyed was the newly constructed grade 9 classroom, which had been built by the national government through the Ministry of Education. The destruction has left parents, teachers, and students devastated, as the affected pupils are now forced to share classes with junior students. The school was in the midst of conducting end-of-term exams when the disaster struck, resulting in an immediate paralysis of the exams. The school fraternity is calling on well-wishers as well as the county and national governments to step in and help restore normalcy to the institution. Teachers and parents have expressed deep concern about the disruption of learning, as the damaged classrooms were essential for both teaching and administrative purposes.
Kati tu watoto walikuwa wametoka wakaenda nyumbani, kaanza mvua mkubwa pamoja na upepo strong na ikaharibu shule yetu. Na JS darasa la grade 9 ilikuwa tayari limejengwa na likaisha na imeenda yote. Kwa hivyo kuna uharibu mkubwa sana ambao ulitendeka, kwa sababu hata ofisi ya head teacher, ofisi ya deputy, ofisi ya curriculum yote imeenda, hatuna ofisi. Kwa hivyo tumepata hasara kubwa. Ni tunauliza tu wakubwa wetu, kwa sababu tuko na wakubwa, tuko na MCA, tuko na MP, tuko na governor na tuko na wengine wengi wale ambao wanaweza kutusaidia, kwa sababu hawa wazazi hawana uwezo na mtihani inaendelea, masomo inaendelea. Sasa tunauliza tu vile tunaweza kupata usaidizi tuweze kujenga madarasa tena watoto waweze kusoma vizuri.
Walikuwa wanasema waanze mtihani kesho, na sasa kwa sababu ya shule imeenda yote, sasa hawa watoto watafanya nini? Watafanya mitihani wapi? Sasa tukaulizana kweli, tusaidike aje, tufanye nini?
Kwa wale ambao wanasikia hii uharibifu, kama wanaweza kutusaidia kutoka kwa tuko na MCA, tuko na MP, hata kutoka kwa governor, na hata kama inawezekana ikifika tu kwa kuuliza, hata rais kama akisikia akifikiwa na jambo kama hili anaweza kutusaidia, maana huu uharibifu ni mkubwa sana. Wazazi wangu hawawezi, na saa hizi ni wakati wa mitihani, hata sijui watoto wangu au watoto wanafanyia mitihani wapi. Kwa hivyo nauliza tu kwa wale ambao wako na roho safi, ambao wanaweza kutusaidia, wakisikia hii watusaidie.
Right, moving on, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has urged members of the parliament and leaders at large to honor the trust bestowed upon them by citizens, emphasizing that leaders comes with a great responsibility. Wetangula's remarks came on Saturday during the burial service of Elvis Murakana Namenya, the son of Dagoretti North Member of Parliament Honorable Beatrice Elachi at Nalepo village in Kajiado County. In his address, Wetangula reminded elected leaders that they have been given the privilege to lead and urged them to deliver on their duties across various dockets, focusing on the betterment of the nation. Additionally, Wetangula called for national unity and collective responsibility, particularly in the aftermath of the tragic death of Elvis Murakana Namenya, who died in a road accident on March 25th of 2025. He emphasized that Kenyans must put aside political and social differences to build a unified and prosperous nation.
Mimi nawaomba waheshimiwa wabunge, waheshimiwa mawaziri, waheshimiwa viongozi na wananchi, they have given us the rare privilege of leading this country. And for those who much is given, much more is expected. And the expectation of this wananchi can be found in the book of Kusadikika by Shaban bin Robert, kwamba katika nchi yetu tunaendelea kuyatoa maneno machafu kama chuki, kama uchoyo, kama taharuki katika msamiati wetu, ili tuwe na nchi ya upendo, ya wananchi wanaopendana, ambao kila wakati wanajiona kama ni mandugu na marafiki. That is the Kenya we must have. And that's the Kenya we all pray for. Ndugu wa Kenya, mumesikia yale yamesemwa hapa. Mimi message yangu ni moja tu. We have no spare country. We have no other Kenya. We have only one Kenya. Na senator wa hapa alisimama hapa akasema Kajiado is a county of peace. And I confirm because I'm also a resident of Kajiado. And my neighbors treat me as if I was born from the same womb with them. Ni Wamasai, lakini ng'ombe yangu ikitoka wanashika wanarudisha. That is how to be your brother and your sister's keeper. We have degenerated to a level where we look at each other with the blinkers of hate, with the blinkers of ethnicity, with the blinkers of all manner of things that don't help the growth of our country.
All right, at the same time, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has urged leaders to give more attention to the grievances of the younger generation and to address their concerns with respect. Speaking at the burial service of Elvis Murakana Namenya, the son of Dagoretti North Member of Parliament Beatrice Elachi, on Saturday at Nalepo village in Kajiado County, Governor Sakaja emphasized the importance of listening to the youth in order to foster national development. Governor Sakaja called on political leaders and other authorities to avoid responding to the youth with arrogance. Rather, he stressed that young people should not be dismissed or ignored as they are key to the country's future.
Mheshimiwa Mili, when you said something true. Our young people and what is happening, what you see as bitterness, what you see as anger, is a cry. The problem is not our young people. The problem is us, the political class. We are the problem. And we need, when you hear a cry from your child, what do? You go down to their level, you listen. We need to listen. We need to humble ourselves. We need to take it seriously. Because our young people are not crazy. Our young people are our children. Let us listen to them. Yesterday I read out a poem at church about our young people being like living arrows that God sends forth upon the mark of the infinite. And as much as God loves the arrow that flies, he also loves the bow that is stable. We as parents, let us not respond to our children with arrogance. Na tusiwapuuzilie, na tusiwatishe, hawatishiki. In fact, the more you do that, the more you rile them up. The more you rile them up, the more they resist. Na mimi najua tutapata nafasi hiyo. So thank you Mheshimiwa Mili for raising that. My colleagues were here. It is time for us to have self-introspection as leaders. Where we went wrong, let us correct ourselves.
Now, Majority Leader in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'Wa, has cautioned politicians against engaging in insightful speeches and urged them to prioritize development-focused politics that benefit the people of Kenya. Ichung'Wa stressed that inflammatory rhetoric could hinder the country's progress, and politicians contesting for government positions should be given time to carry out their duties and implement policies effectively. Speaking in Igembe North, Meru County, during the launch of a school bus donated to Ntumbwete Kiongo Secondary School by the Constituency Development Fund under the leadership of Julius Taitumu, Ichung'Wa highlighted the importance of focusing on development as the foundation for national growth. He emphasized that it is crucial for the people of Mount Kenya to support Deputy President Kithure Kindiki as he charts his path forward in Kenya's leadership, urging them to consider his next steps in advancing the country's interests.
Watu ambao wanatuletea siasa za uchochezi, tuwaambie watukomeshe siasa, tuzingatie yale mambo ya maendeleo ambayo tuliwaahidi. Kweli si kweli? Na najua siasa itafika siku yake. So wasikuwe na haraka, bado ni sahi, tuondoe mdomo mingi kwa kazi, tufanyie wananchi kazi, si ndio? Sababu kuna wengine kazi yao imekuwa ni uchochezi wa kanisa, kwa mazishi, kwa maredio. Tunaambia endelea, mdomo ni yako, si ndio? Lakini ukija kuongea na wananchi kama hapa Igembe, usiwatishe kuambia ati wewe ndio ulisema wachague Taitumu, ati wewe ndio utakuja kuambia watu wa Igembe watachagua nani. Hemo dogo kakubuga, nyinyi ndio mtaamua. Unasikiaga wakiniita bibi ya Ruto. Sasa mkiniangalia nimevaa linda kweli. Lakini nimewaambia hata muniite bibi ya Ruto na barabara ya Kaero ipate rami, nitaitika hiyo bibi ya Ruto. Kweli? Si kweli? Wakiita Ruto Kasongo, abora itwe Kasongo na Kaero na Mtwati, soko ijengwe, si ndio? Sasa mnasema Kasongo ajenge soko ya Mtwati? Kasongo ajenge soko ya Lare. Kasongo aweke barabara ya Kaero rami. Tusonge na Kasongo. Sikindiki ni mtoto wa hapa Meru. Si ni mtoto wa Mount Kenya. Si ni mtoto wa Kenya. Na mnaona hapo mbele si anaweza kuwa pia Unaona kama inawezekana? Profesa anaweza hawezi? Si mimi ni Mgikuyu. Na mnajua uzuri wa Kindiki ni mtu mpole. Hana kiburi, hana ukabila, na anajua kupanga kazi. Na anasaidia rais kupanga kazi. Na ndio nauliza pia yeye tumsupport ili asaidiane na rais tufikishe maendeleo. Ndio.
Now, the Mbeere Council of Elders has issued a one-month ultimatum to the government to implement the Mwea settlement scheme for 7,200 beneficiaries as mandated by a court order. The elders, led by Chairman Eston Nyaga, have warned that any further delays in the settlement process could result in unnecessary complications and potential conflicts. Speaking at a press conference in Mbeere South, Nyaga raised concerns that political interference might be obstructing the settlement process. He suggested that certain political figures were sabotaging the implementation for personal or political gain, pointing out that the court had already directed the Embu County Commissioner and the county government to oversee the relocation of the beneficiaries who had been issued legal title deeds.
Na leo tuko hapa kuchokoa serikali kwa sababu ya ile shamba ya Mwea Settlement Scheme. Hilo shamba tunajua vizuri sana iligaiwa watu mwakani wa 2016 na watu wakapewa title deeds sawa, watu 7,232. Kwa hivyo hawa watu ndio wenye hilo shamba, na tunasangaa sana wakati tunasikia gavana wetu, county commissioner wetu ati wanasema tuende NDR. Hata wanapeleka mambo hayo kwa koti ili kuwe ni koti imesema ati tuende NDR kwa mambo hayo. Vile tunasema kama wase, sisi msimamo wetu tunajua hilo shamba sasa si Mwea Settlement Scheme, hilo shamba ni la wenyewe. Hawa walipatiwa cheti watu 7,232, hawa ndio wenye shamba hilo. Na mimi sina uwezo kama chairman ya kuongea juu ya shamba la mwenyewe, kwa sababu kuna mwenye shamba namba 1, kuna shamba lile lingine. Kwa hivyo hiyo area ama hiyo kichaka ilikuwa kiitwa Mwea Settlement Scheme, sasa ni ya wenyewe kwa sababu iko na wenyewe. So sisi hatunjui NDR inatoka wapi kuongea mambo ya mashamba ya wenyewe. Hiyo tunakataa katakata.
Constitutionally, land is defined as public land, private, and community. Mwea, from the bridge to the other end of Mwea, is community land. Community land is managed by the community, in this case, Mbeere. That's a fact. 2, the other statement of facts, government stays in perpetuity. It continues. Hii ikitoka, another one comes in and it continues. The government which was there 2016, na 2015, 2016, subdivided the scheme, the so-called landing scheme, was subdivided by a legal government in Kenya doing its own mandate to serve the people.
Now, police in Kwale County have arrested 170 suspects linked to the notorious machete-wielding criminal gang known as the Panga Boys, who have been causing fear and havoc among residents in Diani. The arrest follow a week-long operation aimed at dismantling the gang's operations in the region. Of the 170 suspects, 63 have been presented in court, while police have requested an additional 14 days to hold 33 suspects for further investigations under a miscellaneous application. Furthermore, 16 other suspects will be arraigned in court on Monday to face charges related to the involvement with the criminal gang. During the operation, authorities successfully recovered 7 machetes believed to have been used by the gang members in their violent attacks. Police also seized 18 rolls of bang and several mobile phones, which are suspected to have been used for coordinating the gang's activities.
Toa onyo kwa wasasi wajue watoto wao wanafanya nini kwa kila siku, wanahusika na nini, na waonye wao wakiona wanahusika na uhalifu.
Penda kusema kwamba tumeweza kushika ile criminals ambaye pia wanasumbua watu hasa katika Likoni. Jana peke yake tulishika vijana wawili, mmoja akiwa na panga mrefu sana. Hivi vijana ni very dangerous criminals, na profiling inafanywa, ile vitu wamefanya mbeleni yote, hiyo files ziunganishwe, wote waweze kustakiwa na hizo mafiles, sio incident moja peke yake wamefanya.
Now, during the annual general meeting of Central Kenya branch of Health Workers Union in Kirinyaga County, members emphasized the need for the government to prioritize issues related to nurses and ensure the effective delivery of healthcare services. The union leaders expressed concerns over the increasing interference of politics in the health sector, stressing that such involvement often leads to complications in health operations. The union members pointed out that having politicians lead the Ministry of Health frequently results in delays and inefficiencies in addressing critical health matters. They urged the government to separate politics from healthcare administration to ensure that services are delivered effectively and efficiently. Additionally, the union voiced strong opposition to the government's initiatives, particularly the healthcare financing plan, stating that ordinary citizens were not benefiting from the scheme. They argued that it mainly favors political leaders rather than addressing the needs of the general public.
You know, we may not know how we will operate because we are not prophets to see the future. But if we look back to the previous interactions we had with a non-doctor, which was Susan Nakumicha, she actually called for strike for last year. She asked for the strike, pushed us for the strike, and forced us out. And this was because she could not understand the role of doctors, the role of interns, and so many other things, even the need to have a functional healthcare. But then she was very strongly on politicizing every issue of healthcare. When we had Dr. Deborah, for the months she has been in office, we gave a strike notice. But it was for the first time in the history of the union that a strike notice that has been issued was not materialized. Why? Because she understood the role of doctors, she understood what we needed to be done, and they were not politicized issues. I saw the new minister that has been brought into office. She's a politician. I just want to warn her that she do not politicize our issues, because then we don't participate in politics. We only participate in withholding our skills. And therefore, no amount of politics can resolve the issues that are pending. And number one of them is the issue of interns. She must come out understanding their role, and if she doesn't understand, she should go and learn. And the same thing to the CBA that we've been fighting about. So we know the office is held in perpetuity. It doesn't matter who is in the office, it is that those issues are implemented. But I want to warn the new minister that she should not come in the same breath that we had with the former minister, who was, in a way, bastardizing our collective bargaining agreements and looking down upon the profession with disdain and disrespect. That does not go well. And if it happens that way, we will not stop to chant and sing on the street and to dramatize for her to go away. And we know very well that even if we have 100 politicians or 1,000 ministers, they will not treat patients. It will call for doctors to do the same. They will try to touch our salaries. We have seen government with keen interest trying to wage war against doctors and trying to push doctors to industrial actions. And this happened last year, and it was also happening in December, and there are the words around the street on it also this year. So we are giving warning, and there's a resolution we made in this annual general meeting, that if government, that is the Ministry of Health, in any way tries to touch the wages of interns, then it will not be business as usual. We will treat that as a strike notice.
All right, it is exactly 30 minutes past the top of the hour. That's not to wrap up our bulletin here at EBN Weekend Edition. And I just want to shout out some of the viewers who are saying I'm watching. That is Benjamin Nyaboro, Joel Masibo, Nancy Moni, Getre, Lauren Kelly Chima, and of course, just but to name a few, tunasema asante sana for keeping us company. It is exactly 31 minutes past the top of the hour. My name is Martin Macharia. You have yourself a blessed Sunday ahead. And as always, let's meet again when God says we do.